Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Be Inspired TV. This is your host, Samuel Rodney, and I have an awesome guest this week. Welcome, Rachel Adkins on the line. And she's a licensed hair care professional who specializes in hair therapy. And I brought her on here just to share her expertise and knowledge and just facilitate an awesome conversation with her. So, guys, just listen to her story for a little while, see what she has to say. Okay, go ahead, Rachel.
Hey, how are you doing today, Samuel?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Great,
How
great.
about you?
I'm doing wonderful, and I want to thank you too for the invite. And as far as what you're doing, I think it's awesome. So keep up that good work as well, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. So tell
Um,
me,
tell
yeah.
you a little bit about myself. Okay, great. Got my start very early in this industry. I've been in the industry some 23, maybe almost 24 years. Love the industry. Still have great passion for it. My mother originally started the business out some many years ago. So I've been very fortunate and very thankful that she paved that way for me and has allowed me to turn around and give back to other young ones who's also interested in pursuing this career. And I've been able to, be involved in a lot of processes of this industry. So it's one that has afforded me a lot of opportunities to do what I enjoy doing. That's giving back, that's teaching, that's sharing. So I do hope that anyone that's listening today have some good takeaways by the end of this interview.
All right. Thanks. Awesome. Sounds good. And I actually like your shirt. You're advertising your business right there. I like that. Nice shirt.
Of course, got to get that marketing in whenever we can.
Right. True business owner right there. So, like, I know you've been in the industry for a while. And wow, 23 years. Congratulations. That's a
Right?
long time. So you are experienced in this stuff. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. So, what was one of the main reasons why you got into business?
Well, originally, when I was younger, I saw my mom, how hard she worked to build her business. And initially, I did not want to be in that industry. I wanted to pursue nursing, but later determined that that was not a course I was going to take for various reasons. Um, so what I decided to do was go ahead and go for it. I had the natural talent. I was already heavily involved with doing hair as far as working with my mom at a very early age, or just kind of helping out at the salon, just really experimenting with different things. However, I eventually decided that this would be something I would like to pursue as a career. So I really began to take it very serious and really focus on how I would build and develop the business. Of course, now mom is transitioning out, so I do all the primary running of the business and have been for over the last about 15 years or so. So I was trying to find a way, how do I make this industry um, one that could sustain me for one, an opportunity for me to be able to reach back and give back to others who are actually aspiring to pursue the same type of industry or career, rather.
Okay, so it sounds like you're working on expanding and building your brand more, correct?
Yes, that's definitely it.
Awesome. And you're on the right track. I see you marketing. I see you doing things. You're on the right track. Just wanted to congratulate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, who has been one of the most influential persons in your life?
Well, of course, I would have to say my mom. One of many, honestly, but mom, I really saw how, as a single parent, she was able to decide that this is something she wanted to pursue because she pursued it after, of course, she was an adult. So we were able to see how she had that drive and that motivation to do it, and she built a successful, loyal clientele, and really seeing how she worked really hard. She put in long hours. She thoroughly enjoyed what she did, and you saw that passion. That makes a huge difference too when a person is really passionate about what they're doing. So I think by me seeing that early on, that laid a pretty good foundation for me and how I wanted to duplicate that, in the business as well. So that was the beginning of that entrepreneur spirit for me, and she really did an awesome job at really kind of pouring that into me as well.
Awesome. Great. And we all need those like mentors and people who will pour into your life to get you on the positive direction, to get things going. So that's
Absolutely.
so tell me a little bit of how your process works at the shop. So like how do you gain new clients? How do you do that stuff?
Okay, and that's a very great question to ask for many reasons. Excuse me. Um, the method that we're using currently is probably a method that won't work for the average salon, but they can work to this point where they can be able to tap into this.
Right.
Of course, I've used several methods of marketing business, all the conventional methods, newspaper, magazine, different types of ads, different mediums on TV, radio, and so forth. And those are great. Those work really, really well. However, what I've noticed is this, is that over the years, we've developed such a high standard for our business that that standard set us apart from many others. And the first time a guest walk in our door, they immediately sense that, wow, this is something different. We're not going to be that typical whatever somebody may think of when they go to a hair salon. So I think by us separating ourselves in that sense where we're standing out, where it takes very little money or very little effort to stand out in that way. It's all about the level of professionalism, being very consistent with all our services, and really looking at how do we take care of the client, satisfying the client need, making that client feel very special when they come to visit us. And it's called that wow experience.
Yeah.
But our customers get that consistently every time. If we're ever off point with that, we want to know. We want them to tell us because as human nature, we may fall short sometime, but the most important thing is that we get back on top of it. And that's something I highly stress with the whole team. We have an awesome team of people that works for us at the salon or work with us rather, and I think that they're all amazing. So I think by us being very systematic, being very structured, and really understanding the customer and their needs, we don't have to do a lot of that conventional marketing because what has happened is those same clients will go out and tell their friends, coworkers, and they're calling, they're wanting appointments. So we always have been told, and we know that word of the mouth is the best form of advertisement. And it costs us no money. Of course, we have incentives that we give clients for welcoming a new guest to our salon. We really, really appreciate them for doing that because they don't have to, but that just confirms how much they enjoy being in that type of environment. And we thank them. We're so, so appreciative to have wonderful, loyal, and supportive clients as we have.
Wow, this sounds so amazing. Like you already created a system and you have this high expectation for your business and your clients. So like one of the things I'm wondering, like what is the thing that sets you apart from a other besides the consistency and like the consistent team service, what is one specific thing that sets you apart from different other hairdressers or somebody else who's trying to build a similar type of company?
Okay. I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a culmination of things. But what I can say that probably will stand out a little bit more is we take professionalism very, very serious. We don't cut corners in that area. We're not gonna One day be on top of it, the next day have no concept of how to be professional. It starts with that first engagement with the customer, whether that's via phone, via their walking in. We've understood this very important factor. You set that tone from that very first meeting. If we don't get it right that first time, it's hard for us to go back and recapture that. So that's why I highly stress we get that right the first time because we let the guests know this is how we do business. So by us setting that tone initially, I think that's something that's really a little different um, because our guests come in and immediately, like I said, they sense that, they see that, and I think that's something that really stands out as well.
So professionalism. So like, what are some tips that you can give someone who's trying to get in business and needs some expertise help or some tips of how to get started? What would you
Okay.
tell somebody?
All right. Well, particularly if it's the cosmetology industry, and this is actually applicable for any type of business. I would say just start off right. You know, start off with the proper and legal ways of setting things up. Um, it does not have to be um, overly expensive as far as you having the top of everything or just having everything you need as soon as you open your door. I know particularly with us and my mom, we were able to grow the business gradually by reinvesting, back into the business. So don't start out getting in too deep, like over your head, especially when you look at all the expenses that are involved in starting a business, period. You know, overhead will kill a business. If you don't have that good ratio of that business coming in versus what's going out, you really have to look at how do you position yourself to grow at a nice pace where you can keep up with it. So I would highly suggest that, of course, like I said, all the legal things that need to be done, research it, read, get that right from the start. Again, it's hard to go back and try to redo all those things. It's going to cost you time and money that you probably don't even have at that point. So pace yourself, starting out small, and really understanding your vision, knowing what you want to focus on, what your expertise is going to be. Particularly with us, um, I've transitioned over the years, of course, but now what our specialty is hair and scalp therapy. That's our niche. You know, it didn't start out that way, but we've evolved into that. So I would say definitely know what your vision is, staying focused and being true to that. And your vision can shift, your focus can shift, but you don't want to be all over the place with that.
Right.
You want to master that, and you possibly want to grow and move on to something else. So that would be very important as well. But just being very well paced, having a good plan in place as well would be very helpful in the beginning. And just gradually growing that clientele where if it's to the point where you want to establish a larger salon where you want employees or booth renters, you know, that's something that can happen. But don't come out the gate, you know, especially right out of school thinking, I'm going to have this tomorrow. So that won't be a very wise thing to do. It can happen if you got a good solid plan in place, but it won't be very wise. It would be overwhelming for one, and the cost of it will probably be very detrimental to the business and the growth of the business.
Okay. And you said something about hair and scalp therapy is your niche. So tell me a little bit of how you got into that specific niche and how you built how you got into that niche.
Okay. Well, my mother originally introduced me to the concept. The concept is called trichology. So that's what we practice. We practice that in a salon. So that is primarily, trichology is primarily the study of hair and scalp disorders. So what we do, um, we've been thoroughly trained in how to identify and help clients with these problems that they've originally probably only gone to see a medical doctor for or a dermatologist for, which there are certain things that they still do need to go to see those particular people for, but there are several things that we are able to handle in the salon. We are equipped to handle types of hair loss and thinness or excessive breakage by receiving a lot of training to understand, for one, how to identify it, two, what do we do for after we identify it, what are the treatment options. We have different tools, devices, different techniques, different processes. And it's basically a very systematic thing where clients may come either on a 6 months rotation or a year rotation, whichever one that fits them the best or their need the best. And we are aggressively working with that scalp and that hair to recover it. And it's a wonderful feeling because throughout the years, we've actually had instances where we just didn't know what to do with it because our training had to be advanced beyond what we got in school. So we had to take the initiative to find the right sources to train us on this. And that's what we did. My mom and I, we availed ourselves to many of the courses out there, some fine educators that are already in that field of cosmetology was able to train us and equip us. And we feel very confident now that we know how to take care of our clients' needs. And like I said, it's a beautiful feeling, especially when you see that client and they're able to see how their hair or even their scalp could recover, and it's just wonderful because as a woman particularly, and men too, because we do see men as well, hair has a special attachment, or people sometimes have a special attachment to hair, which is not unusual and is not a bad thing. So we want to restore that dignity back to guests, and that's what we've been able to do is really help them in various ways. If it's not just if it's not just restoring the hair, it could be helping with the quality of their health. Because our program actually heavily involves wellness products. So nutrition is a key role in helping these clients with this process, and that's another thing that Mom and I have always enjoyed doing and sharing, educating clients on alternatives, helping them to see that there are some natural solutions out there. So our approach with the hair therapy is helping marry that in. They have the treatments or the therapy for actually a scalp, but we're actually taking care of the body as well. So those are some things that make it more of a complete process. So it's like I said, a beautiful marriage between the two. It brings us satisfaction to know that we are able to offer that type of service to our guests.
And you said you deal with guys too. I may have to. I think I'm going bald in my.
You're fine, but you can call us if you need us for sure.
Wow, that's interesting. But you said a lot of great stuff, and one of the things that I really caught on to was investing in yourself. Like you said, you invested in the education, and like it's important as a business owner to invest in yourself and get that education so you could educate your clients how to be successful or how to get what they're looking for when they come to you. So how important is that to you? I know you said it was important, it was something you did, but how important is that to you?
That's huge to me because in every area of my life, I really focus on how can I grow, how can I improve, how can I be a better person, how can I understand something better. So again, it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what profession or whatever your goals or focuses are. I would say always be hungry. Always want to know how to do something or always want to know how to solve a problem, be solution oriented. And also that motivates you. Um, And once you actually can use this information, and this is the beauty of it, when you can turn around and give back based on what you've already learned through your research and you're educating yourself, it's a very fulfilling thing, because sometimes people don't want to educate themselves. They don't choose to read. We all have access to the same things, but because they don't avail themselves to it, you can open that opportunity, like spark that interest in them wanting to read, wanting to research. I always encourage all clients, research it. I don't want anyone to say, well, she said this. I want them to have the confidence in saying, you know what, she mentioned it to me, I went and read it and I researched it, and I felt like this or that. So that equips them, that empowers them too. So it's like a domino effect, and it's almost contagious when especially when I'm around someone that exhibits those qualities that is wanting to grow themselves, their mind, or educate themselves. That's very infectious, and it's something that I love seeing, and it just reminds me of what I like to do, and so it makes me even want to do it more. So it just is a very fulfilling thing to really be very well informed, and that's what I like to call it. Um, because when we're informed, we can make intelligent decisions.
Right.
I mean, and that is a wonderful thing. We can't make intelligent decisions if we don't have sufficient information. So I will always say, you educate yourself, you read, you equip yourself with the right knowledge so you can make the best decision.
Right. Knowledge is power, they say. So, what are some of the books that you have read that have got you to this kind of awareness?
Okay, well, several. I love to read. Unfortunately, I don't find that time to read as much as I used to. But audios are wonderful for that too, because so many books on audios right now on YouTube and different places you can find them. However, I do want to just kind of name some of the motivational speakers that I love personally. Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, um, John Maxwell, just to name a few. Jim Rohn, love Jim Rohn. But those are some of the key audios I want to hear because I love their message. I like how they convey it. They use, and most motivational speakers do this, but those in particular, they use a lot of everyday things to really make you think, like, wow, never really thought about it like that. Or it allows you to push your mind to a whole nother level because you could probably have a similar thought process, but once it's said or once this key thing is said that triggers something else in your mind, you're like, wow. So it opens that mind up to other possibilities. So those are some of the motivation speakers I listen to on audio quite often and have some of them books as well. But a book in particular that I like is a very short, little, small book, Who Moved My Cheese? Love that book. That's a great one. Also, there are quite a few. I like the E-Myth series with Michael Gerber. The one about why most small businesses fail, that's a great one for entrepreneur. Just to understand the dynamics of what goes wrong in most small businesses. And I've lived a lot of that, so I can really relate to it. But it really helps you to understand how you do not go back and make that same mistake, or just how to get back on track, or how to start off. If you hadn't even started off, I would say definitely read that before you start off because it will allow you to lay a lot of things in place that would prevent a lot of things that most small businesses do suffer through or suffer with during their first few years of business. Um, Also, there the success principles. I love the success principles. I have not finished that book, but what I've read so far has been phenomenal. So really, those are the things that really um, help me bring out my creative spirit. I'm a person who loves developing systems. I'm a very structured person, so I really need things to function in a very systematic order. So these are things that allow me to do what I naturally like to do. I like to tap into my ability to solve problems, work out things where I can put something in place, so I won't have to keep going through that same thing that's probably making me, excuse me, that's probably making me lose time or
Right.
money. And those are two things. As a business owner or just being in a business here, you don't want to lose time and money. So you have to get that stuff figured out early on, in order for you to continue to grow and not to be overwhelmed, because it's very easy to become overwhelmed.
You said some great things, and I like the fact that you mentioned the book Who Took My Cheese, because you're the second person that on my show mentioned that book. So that is a very important book. If you haven't got it, you need to
Yes.
get
Yes.
it. So, and I like you said, the storytelling, like with the motivational speaker, it triggers something in you to like just their stories are just so informative and inspirational that it makes you think on another level. Like one of my favorite things about Jim Rohn says, walk away from the 97%, 95%. That's one of my favorite memories of him.
Yeah, he's awesome. With that Southern twang too, it's just perfect. Just break it down, keep it real. Yeah, love it.
Right. So I'm just gonna ask you about two more questions and I'm gonna get you out of here, right? So what I know you do a lot of giving back. So what inspired you to just give back to your community?
Of course, that started with childhood. Again, mom. I saw mom giving all the time. Mom gives in so many ways. She has taught us through her method of giving back, like her service to the community. Mom does a great job at going out and doing a ministry, like educating people on the Bible and so forth. So we followed in that footstep as well, being able to do that. So that was my start as far as serving people. We also, over the years, volunteer on many different levels. Um, when there are disasters, we help with people that have been, affected by disasters. So, um, as an adult, I continue all those same things. When I see a person in need, I feel obligated to help. Now, there may be times now that I'm not able time-wise to help as often as I did in the past. But if it's financially that I can help, I love to do that as far as giving back. A lot of local programs in our area I like to be involved with or give back to. I have been part of Young Professionals for a while, and they are very key in the community here. We're very heavily involved in a lot of different organizations and groups and associations, and really showing particularly young individuals how they could one day be in that professional environment and still be willing to have time to give back to others. Because I feel like when you're able to do that, for one, it shows appreciation. It shows that you're humble, that you're a very selfless person, and all those things are very important. And people want to see that. People want to feel that you care, that you're genuine, that you're sincere. So by me giving back in those areas, I think it helps others to see that that's me, that's where I am, that's what I enjoy doing. Like I said, I'm not physically out there like I had been, but there are so many things that I'm doing that maybe other people don't even realize, and that's okay. I find ways to still be able to give back to individuals on smaller levels or larger levels. So it's just something I enjoy doing, and it's something that I feel like everyone should experience if they have not experienced it, because again, that's one of those things that's very fulfilling too. Because when you can bring that glimmer of a hope or excitement to someone, that just fully energizes you. So service or just serving people is something that comes naturally for me at this point. But if you don't have that, it's something that you can develop and hopefully will develop in your professional career or personal life as well.
you, that's great. Like you said something, and I got goosebumps because, like, I'm not gonna get into this story, but a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to get help someone get over the fear, and like at the moment, I didn't thought I was doing something, but like when I was driving home, it finally hit me, like, damn, you just changed somebody's life forever, you know?
Mm, nice.
So it's a different feeling, like when you just give back to people, even in the littlest of ways. You know?
Hmm.
You just gave me goosebumps. I'm sorry, but so Rachel, like you shared some great stuff on here. Like, what are some ways that we can get in contact with you? Like, if you want to check out your salon, how can they contact
Okay, there are various ways. We do have a website. You can locate us on www.thecarewellnessgroup.com, and also via email if there's something that um, kind of struck a chord with you, whether good or bad. You can definitely reach out to us via email, and that is carewellnessgroup@gmail.com. That's without the word the on the beginning of it. And also via phone, definitely reaching out to us via phone would not be a problem at all. You can reach us at 334-520-0767. And I would love to hear from anyone who um, was had the opportunity to listen to this. If you have questions, or even if you have something that could inspire me, because I'm still always looking, and I'm wanting to be motivated and inspired too. So I would expect this to be a twofold kind of situation here.
you? Rachel, I just want to thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge and wisdom. And I want to thank everybody for coming on and watching and taking the time out of their busy day to just come in and listen to you and hear your story, share some tips that you shared. I just want to thank everyone and you too, Rachel. Um,
Okay. Welcome.
guys, like, guys, thanks for coming on. This is Samuel Rodney, host of Be Inspired TV. And next week we'll have another guest where we're inspiring you to live your abundant life that you deserve. So if you haven't already liked and share or comment on this, just go ahead, like, share, and comment. Leave a comment of what you'd like to learn or something that inspired you through this podcast or video. All right. So thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna see you next week at 9 p.m. on Sunday night. All right. Peace, guys. Take care.